conservative man here. Ah, yes. Jordan B. Peterson. The man, the myth, the legend. Now, I don't agree with a lot of what he says. Some of the things, I do. But, he's kooky when it comes to the religion stuff. Okay. And as of late, he seems to be leaning more and more conservative, religious, whatever. Hey, look, whatever. It is what it is. So he's got this Exodus series. I've been really watching it because it's kind of boring. Because he's got like a round table and Dennis Prager is there and it's like so this is not as interesting as other things he's done in my view. But if you like it, hey, yeah, more power to you, whatever. So in this video, Peterson, talks about sacrifice, animal sacrifice to God, because of course God wants animal sacrifices because I don't know reasons. They say, well, we can't do that anymore, Like, well, prayer is a form of sacrifice. I disagree. I don't think you're sacrificing much of anything. A little bit of time, a little bit of energy. I mean, it's barely a sacrifice, and you're just thinking. I don't really think that's much of a sacrifice. But regardless, that's what the video is about. That's it. Pretty much in summary. But that's not what the comment section's about. So I'm going to read some of this, not all of it, because, there's 94 replies. So, I don't want to be here all day. But I want to read some of it because I just think it's very telling what this sort of thing can bring forth. So you made a positive-ish video about prayer rather than this video, which is negative, And here come in the amen type people, where they're not, they're not contributing to the discussion. They're not adding anything of value. They're talking about God. They're talking about, like, oh, yeah, God, and praise the Lord, praise Jesus, that sort of stuff. And here comes somebody, pray for my 4-year-old son's upcoming surgery. All the sacrifice, all the trouble on this hard road he's on, I offer up to God. He's 4 years old. I don't think he's done much sacrifice. I don't know what trouble, obviously having surgery, not a good thing. Why did God make it that your kid had to get surgery? I don't know. It must have been God's plan. Did God know that your kid would need surgery and that this would stress you and your kid out, stress his body out? And God did this all so that God could get prayers for that kid so that God could then heal that kid? Is that what we're supposed to think? Really? Because the thing is, people don't really think all this through, I don't think. People don't analyze what it would mean to have an all-knowing, all-present, all-powerful God that actually cares about humanity. Now, maybe they believe in a different type of God, but they're asking for people to pray to God on behalf of their kid. So they're asking for something specific, believing that God cares enough and can hear these requests, be they in the brain, mentally, or out loud, that God will favor those requests and then bestow upon the kid supernatural healing. And so, but God also knew that the kid was going to require surgery, built him in such a way that he would need surgery. So God had all of it. He knew all of it was going to happen. And either it's all part of God's plan, or well, it's a fallen world. I can't really do anything about it, meaning God's impotent. It's not very powerful because it's impotent. It's unable to stop bad things from happening. But when you pray, then God is able to intervene in the world and change reality to suit you better. Unless, of course, it's God's will that this doesn't happen, that the healing doesn't occur, and, well, whether or not the surgery works, that's up to the doctors. The supernatural healing will not occur. And that's what's going on. So when you're asking people to pray, you're pretending, you're hoping, you're believing that God can hear people speak out loud or think in their brain, that God cares enough to respond to that request and will do so in a timely and effective manner, while simultaneously acknowledging that God knew all of that was going to happen, knew the prayers were going to come in, but what? Delays the supernatural healing until receiving the prayers? I haven't received Joe Schmo's prayer yet. Can't heal that kid until I do. I've got a 14 prayer quota here. How does any of it work? But no, we're not going to think about that because that's not what's going on. That's not what this is. This is, I need to feel like people care about my kid. And okay, hey, I care. I don't want them to, uh, suffer. But I would say, well, may science prevail in the swift recovery of your child, because it is science that's going to heal the kid. It is science that allowed the doctors to be doctors. It is science that allowed the medicine to be medicine. It is science that will allow the various treatments to be treatments that are effective. At no point in any of that process is religion, prayer, any of that required or even necessary. And worst of all, prayers that intervene with people's life have actually been studied. And there's been metadata studies on the studies. And a metadata study is a study that looks at all the studies and gathers all that data and examines that broad data and tries to come to a conclusion. And every single one of these studies, even those done by pro-God types, come to the conclusion that the results of these studies is no better than chance alone. There's no way to tell if it's having any beneficial effect upon the person receiving those prayers. They've done this in many different ways. They've had people inside a hospital praying for the person behind a one-way mirror. They've had it be, people that say that they're remote healers, directing their healing direct towards that person. They've done this in every single way that you can think, and then some, and nothing. Now, one outlier study had shown that the effects were actually negative, that telling the heart patients that they were being prayed for seemed to make things worse. And the thought was, well, upon hearing the news they're being prayed for, they thought, oh man, this is really bad, and that made it worse, or maybe it's just an outlier, who knows. But you would think there'd be one where it made things better, but not really. Like, you can't hardly find anything that's like significantly better. That's what the science says. Those are the facts. And Peterson has said to say what is true, or at least don't lie. And I like that idea. I think that's a good value to have. And supporting your son in prayer as well. No, you're not. You're not doing anything. Our thoughts, loves, and prayers are with you. We pray, heart, praying for you. Hope it goes well, brother. You mean sister? Or, I don't know. Maybe. Okay, they're a brother. I guess they're a guy. Okay, whatever. I'm not a religious person at all, but I'm going to say my first ever prayer for your son. Why? We'll be praying. Whatever that is, I don't know. Pray for you, blah, blah, blah. I wish the best. And then I'm like, actually, people, study after study shows that intercessory prayer does nothing more than chance alone. Now, here I am, pesky skeptic. Just, hey guys, how's it going? By the way, yeah, what you're doing doesn't matter. Thanks for everything. Goodbye. Now, this Firebird, by the way, they're gone. I love that the people I've responded to have just deleted their original tweet because, or original post because it was, they can't win. Firebird had said that this is scientism. No, it's not. This is the facts. I'm not saying that the best way to figure out anything is through science. It is a pretty damn good way to figure out things. It's not the only way, maybe, but I think it's the best way. But it's not scientism. But of course, it is because they have to say that. But they deleted that. So now, and then this other person completely lied. The red bonkering guy had a post where they completely, utterly lied and said, well, no study's ever shown that, bacteria are a thing, and nothing has ever shown the coronavirus is a thing. And there's $1 million prize. And I'm like, no, there isn't. You're lying. They're gone. They disappeared. It's doctrine. No, it's not. It's not doctrine to say that these are studies that have been done. That's not doctrine. That's just the truth. And then this guy, so some of their posts are gone and others aren't. It's weird. I don't know. Name one government or institution that's provided an isolated, purified sample of what? Bacteria? That's not my burden. Anyways, I've deposited my faith in prayer over your son. Yeah, it's like a bank account. I've deposited money. Beep, They may live to fulfill God's glorious purpose for his life. Maybe the purpose is to die. What if that's the purpose? I mean, if that's what God wants, then that's what's going to happen, right? Like what purpose does them being sick and needing surgery do? Or well, maybe they're not sick. I don't know what they've got, heart condition, whatever it is, What's the purpose of that? Prayers and thoughts. God is great. Yeah, it's so great that it made them that their kid has to have surgery. Just believe and he will listen to you. That doesn't work. None of that works. May God have mercy on your family. Well, that would have been nice if he'd had mercy enough to not make it so the kid needed surgery in the first place. Anyways, I told the red bunkering that's not the topic at hand. It's not my burden to prove. You brought it up, not me. None of this has to do with the fact that prayer's been shown to do the same thing as chants in the song. It's science. It's scientism. Sending prayers. Try burning candles and incense. Why? Just make the place smell. Frankincense and myrrh preferred prayer burners. That's nice. Just makes things smell different. Nope, it's data and facts. But who cares? Pray to your magic man in the sky at this point. I'm getting a little bit irritated at people. I said, why bother with prayer, doctors or surgery? You have prayer, right? Scientism is the opinion that science and scientific methods are the only way to render truth, blah, 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 blah. You're indoctrinated as you think I am. Have fun. Fuck you, bird. This guy is just too cute. You as well. You have religion. I do too. We all have religion. We're both. No, no. I have facts. You have faith. That's all. Then I said the facts are the facts. Deal with it. Your son makes us want to pray. Thank you, and your son. Yeah, thank you for being hurt so we can all pray for you. Like, maybe that was the purpose of them needing surgery, is all these people can now pray for them and feel like they did something, even though none of them actually did anything. That's the other thing, is all these people online, they all feel like they've done something for this kid. They haven't. They haven't done a thing. Nothing that they're doing is going to benefit the kid one way or the other. So they just feel like they did something. Hashtag prayed for them. Yay! Yeah, that's nice. And did you sending money? That might actually be a thing. How about instead of prayers, 1 cent? Send me 1 cent. Only want one. 1 cent per post. At least I'd have, 94 cents? And I was just rolling my eyes at Firebird at this point. And I said, it's a sad state. You all think this when it's not. You go to the doctor, right? Guess what? That's scientism. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, prove that it does little more than chance. I got my prayers, and overnight I was cured of throat cancer. Well, I don't need to prove it because it's already been proven by these studies that I reference. So because I'm not angry at this person, I'm not irritated at them, I gave them a bit more to work with, because I thought that they should have that. Don't know if they read it, don't know if they care, but I'm going to read it anyways. The data from the studies on prayer have concluded the results are what we'd expect from chance. A proper study includes many people, control group, a group being prayed for. This is typically a high number of people. The more the better. You are a single data point in that large sample size. And this is what people do wrong all the time. Atheists can do this too. Anyone can do this. It worked on me. Or maybe you'll hear somebody like with spanking, the topic of spanking comes up. Well, I was spanked as a kid, and I turned out fine. Well, maybe, but studies show that spanking is detrimental for a majority of people. You are in the small bracket of people that it wasn't detrimental to. And people go, but I am fine. So it can't be true that it's not fine because it worked. I'm fine. It worked on me. So it must actually work. It must not actually hurt people because it didn't hurt me. It helped me. So therefore, even though the data says otherwise, it must work. That's not how things work, though. And people get this all twisted backwards all the time. If someone has cancer and prayer is offered and the person doesn't recover, that's also a data point. Someone else might not have been prayed for, yet cured. All the data points are collected in such studies. I've looked into the metadata studies. There are studies of studies as well, and I'll come back with the conclusion that prayer either cannot be tested via science or I should have said, that prayer is about as effective as chance alone. One such study you can find is named Prayer and Healing and Medical Scientific Perspective on Randomized Controlled Trials by all these people so that they could look it up properly. And it's one metadata study that concludes that prayer is not something that can be studied. They conclude this with a pro-God bias. If you read it, it's very clear that they have a pro-God bias in their as you read it. But that's why I'm suggesting that study. In fact, many studies like this have been done, and many metadata studies, and all result what we expect from chance. I'm just simply saying what's true. That's it. That's all I'm doing. I'm just saying what's true. This has no effect on the person. None. Zero. Zip. Zilch. Not going to work. Not going to do anything diddly squat. That's all I'm doing is saying what's true. That's it. That's all I'm doing. Firebird, of course, had more things to say that are now deleted, I guess. They accused me of having a religion. And I said, I don't have one. But if I did, it'd be provable to work at least. Yours, on the other hand, anyways. And then this guy, finally, I get somebody on the other side, cool. So you think magical sky fairy, but not the actual doctor doing the work. That's the other part of this whole prayer thing and the whole God bless thing and all this thing that pisses me off. It's like, thank you, God. Well, what about the doctors and the nurses and the EMT and all the other staff there, janitors? Everybody at the hospital should be getting your things. That should be where you are directing your time, energy, and effort to. Send them a card. Do something. Goodness gracious. Speaking of this Firebird, I hope they get to my channel. I would love to talk to this person on my channel. I think I said F them earlier in this. Whatever. All right. I don't know them, but what I'm trying to say is screw their ideas, not them, the person. That's what I meant to say. Anyways, whatever. Wow. I don't even do I need to read this out loud? There it is. Just read it. I don't want to read it out loud. You want God to change his will? You want God to change his will. Yes, we want God to change his will. What? Anyways, I asked him if he got a broken leg, does he pray or go see a doctor? If you see a doctor, it must be scientism. Anyways, this whole comment section makes me weep for humanity. And this video isn't even about praying for somebody. If only they were healthy enough not to face surgery at such a young age, or any age at all. But best wishes. Yeah, wishing is what prayer is. Just wishing. That's all. I was just laughing at this guy at this point. And then somebody said, oh, this is your opinion. I said, it's not my opinion. It's fact. And it's funny how Jordan has said to tell the truth, but here we are under this video. I'm doing nothing but telling the truth, and look how many of you are jumping ship claiming scientism, even though I'm not doing that, claiming this and that. No one, not one of you is admitting that what I said is true. Think about that for a moment. Think hard. What are you all doing here? Telling me to keep something to myself that is true. I was told that as well, but a lot of these comments have been eradicated, I guess, whatever. What are you typing? Why are you typing that? Here, where Peterson has said to tell the truth, here where Peterson has said that prayer is a sacrifice, something I disagree with, but whatever. Here's where someone said they want people to pray for someone to get well, and little me comes along and say what is true, and you collectively lose it. No one likes the truth suddenly, because it's the thing that you want to be true. Because it's the thing you need to not be true, perhaps because you are in fact afraid of the truth. A while back in the thread, someone outright lied. I challenged them. They went poof. Never be heard from again. I stand by the truth. I will always speak it. You have no power over me. One of my favorite lines from Labyrinth. Anyways. And again, more people commenting that no longer exists, saying that there's a time and place, for these things. There's a time and place for things. And I say that, the time and place for truth is always and everywhere. And it's sad that they don't care about the truth, or at least they think it's stupid to say the truth. Why is now the time? Because somebody's asking for something to be done that has no better odds than chance alone. By giving them what they're asking, we're giving them at best false hope that prayers will somehow result in the child getting better. Flip a coin. If heads, yes. If tails, no. Thankfully, we have doctors who know and understand biology, science, and medicine science. So the chance they will recover is already better than somebody receiving zero treatment. The odds of the recovery are still the same, whether they're prayed for or not, I should have added. But let's look at the science once again, see what that might be, shall we? We shall. It's a redundant question. Anyways, so then I say it determines the long-term survival after major surgery and the adverse effect of post-operative complications by all these people. So that, again, they can look up the paper. Not that they will, but they could if they wanted to and read it. And this actually tells you the percentage of survival for different surgeries so that you know what your actual odds are. So you actually have the facts. And that's good. Hey, I've got a 95% survival rate. That's pretty darn good. I have a 2% survival rate. Whoo! Better put my affairs in order. Because I want to know the bloody truth. I have no idea what sort of surgery they're getting, but it's likely it's on that list. And if not, well, we'd have to find the proper list. And we can find the real odds. The real odds. Knowing that, knowing the fact that surgery is not affected by prayer due to the studies, we should then offer only what is true. Your kid has an X% chance of recovery. That's what we should offer this person. Say, hey, look, your kid has X% chance of recovery. That's it. That's all we can do. We could send you money, maybe, to pay for the bills. That actually would be something that we could actually do that would have an actual benefit. Each of us could send a penny your way. Hey, that's a penny more than you didn't have before. At least. It's something. It's 94 pennies. If everyone, if the 94 comments had all sent 1 penny, of course, some of those comments are me multiple times, but nonetheless, if we all sent you a penny, at least you'd have 94 pennies less that you'd have to pay towards that surgery or that, from your insurance deductible, etc. That would be at least something. And if it was $1, well, that's $94 then. That's something that actually is tangible and real and matters in some way. Prayer, according to all the data, all the studies, prayer doesn't do anything for that person. What it does is you feel better, maybe. You feel like you did something. And that's it. Them, they don't appear to be affected one way or the other. And maybe you tell them, hey, all these people are praying for you. Maybe they feel a little bit better about that, or maybe they don't. Like I said, there was one study where people were told and they fared worse. So it's a gamble there. It's like, well, maybe they get the placebo effect, but here's an idea. Take this medicine, it will make you feel better. If you believe that, then the placebo effect kicks in. And guess what? The medicine actually does really make you feel better, and you have the placebo effect on your side. You get the benefits of both without having to pretend that God is going to intervene in this. Or in that study that it was programmed that I mentioned before. For whatever theological, scientific reasons that are important, we can't study this. God knows that you're trying to study prayer, and then God goes into hiding so that the results are what you would expect from chance alone. And by the way, you can't really get an actual sample size of people that are not being prayed for. And you might say, well, how do you know that? I know that because when I was a Christian, I would sometimes pray for everyone in the entire world. So that means somewhere somebody is praying for everybody in the entire world. I did it. So it's not unreasonable to think that somebody else is doing that. So there really isn't a sample size of people that aren't being prayed for. But of course, in the study, if you wanted to conduct that study, you have to say, well, we know that they're not actively being prayed for at any rate. And then you look at the group A and group B. Group B is not being prayed for by anybody you know, at least. Group A, you know, is actively being prayed for. And you see who recovers faster. Does group A recover faster than group B, or do they do about the same? And again and again and again, they do about the same. There's no anything there. Either God is hiding, so knows that it's getting studied, and like, I gotta hide now, and not I gotta, you're part of a prayer study, I can't help you now, or I gotta help you in such a way that it doesn't look like I'm helping you. And you can believe that, but then you still have to then admit that the data says there's no benefit to this. The person praying on their own might feel better, that because meditation can make you feel better, but you don't need to pray to meditate. And perhaps, and I don't know if any study's been done to show one form of meditation better than the other. Probably has been, but these people don't want to hear the truth. They do not want to hear that prayer hasn't been shown to do anything, because they want to believe that it does do something. That's why they're pissed off at me. I think. I could be wrong. I'm guessing that's why they're pissed off at me. No idea. Anyway, so it will not be affected by prayer. Not in the slightest, not even a little. So we could choose to ignore this. We could choose to lie to them, offer false hope. If the surgery fails, it's just guess God wanted it to fail, right? Of course, that's the problem with depending on God. You could justify action or inaction. The kid is healed, it's thanks to God, rather than the skill and expertise of the doctors, nurses, etc. Perhaps they could get some thinks, just an idea. Oh my God. Some thinks is what I want to edit that. That's annoying to me. What happened? I went to edit it. Oopsie. Okay, there it is. Where is it? Perhaps they should get some thanks. That's an idea. All right. Where's the save button? There we go. Okay. All right. Anyways, okay. If the kid, and if the kid didn't make it, that was just God bringing them home, right? So it's all God's will. So why pray, right? Prayer might make you feel better. You did something, even though you didn't, but you can feel like you did. It's about you wanting to feel like you did something. That's why you want me to be quiet, because it's bothering you. Tough. Facts don't care about your or my feelings. I'll always post facts whenever possible, wherever possible, time and place, here and now, and always forever. You can't stop me. You will not stop me. You have no power of me. Facts are the facts. Truth is the truth. It's all that matters. Lobsters exist. Well, I didn't put the exist part, but lobster. We all know what lobster means. They don't, but we do. I like my own post. Hello, this is a Jewish person, made GD, because he can't write out God. Heal your son. Which is weird, because, I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, and this other person said, anyways, I said, truth matters. Insult me if you want. Whatever. I'm going to keep on telling the truth. Anyway, so that's, I pretty much read almost everything. I guess I didn't read it. I read my stuff mostly. Okay. I said I was going to read all the 42. I think I probably actually did read all those comments, actually. 94 comments. In a way I did. Okay, I didn't really, but I kind of did. Anyways, whatever. So, why complain about all this? Well, one, because I like to complain. But secondly, because it shows something about the human creature, animal that we are. When it is your thing that you think is true, and somebody comes along and says, that's not true, that's going to piss you off. And that whole time and place thing. Now, this is an interesting question, I think, that I want you, dear listener, to answer, if you will, in the comments. Do you suspend telling the truth because somebody's feelings might get hurt, because it's not the, quote, time and place for it, end quote? And I suppose it depends. Somebody, sweet, dear great grandmother is, 103, and she's on her deathbed. Had a great life, plenty of grandchildren, great grandchildren, whatever, all that stuff. And she says to you, okay, look, I know you don't believe in God, but I do. Prove to me there's no God. Is now the time and place to try to prove that there's no God? I would. I'd be like, okay, sure, let's do it. I'm going to keep telling you there's not a God until you're dead. How about that? And if I'm wrong, come back and let me know. But maybe somebody say, it's not the time and place for that. You go to a funeral. Hey, by the way, everybody, that person you're all praying for, they're dead. Yeah, and then they sneeze. And they sneeze again. That's how dead they are. They sneezed twice, even though they were dead. I don't know how that happened. But anyways, they're dead. They're not coming back. And that's it. You won't get to see them again because they're just dead. Maybe not tactful, but, and now, of course, me being a skeptic, I don't know that that's the case. So I wouldn't say that. I'd say, well, they're not on the immortal coil. I don't know what to say about that. I sneezed again. But I don't, I wouldn't say what I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure that there's nothing more. I have no idea about that. I know that there isn't anything to show that there is. I know that, but I don't know that there isn't anything, there's no way to study it. So I have to be skeptical about it. And I can say that. And I can say what's true, what I know to be true, which is every bit of what was them is here, now, with all of us, in the air, spreading out into the world, dispersing. We're going to inhale it or eat it. At some point, it will be part of us for a while, and then it will not be part of us, and we'll go back into the collective atmosphere, travel around the world, and in that small way, we are all a part of each other because we're all a part of the universe, because we are the universe and we are each other in a way, even though we're kind of not. And does that help to know? I don't know. It's poetic, but it's beautiful, but it's also true. And I know that it's true, and it can be demonstrated to be true. A piece of them is in me and you. And I don't know how long it will be in us, but it will be in there for a while. Then it won't be. But part of me is in you, and part of you is in me. And it will be forever because nothing is created or destroyed. Energy is indefinite. That's amazing. That's better. Well, I don't know better, but it's more interesting than making up stuff. I think you can make up stuff, whatever. You can make it seem more poetic, perhaps. So I get the time and place idea. I get that because it's the way that you say it. But I do think that yes, it is the time and place because hey, pray for my kid. No, that doesn't work. There you go. It doesn't do anything. Doesn't do any good. What do I care? Why do you care? Why are you sticking your nose where it doesn't belong? You're an asshole. You're a jerk. You're, stuff. That's just scientism. That anything, you've got a doctor and and it's just all this. It's like, look, I just said, look, so it doesn't work. That's it. Bye. Thanks. It's like you drop that little tiny drop of truth. And when it's the thing that people don't want, whoo, man, they go off. And you'll see it with your own group. You'll see it in yourself as well. If you can step back and take a look at yourself honestly, because there will always be some topic out there that is the thing that is your thing that you don't want to be true or that you do want to be true. And it will bother you and irritate you, and you will hate the person, and you will hate what they said, and you will rage against them and everything and everyone else. How dare they say the thing, because that's the thing that, no, that's true. How dare you question that? How dare you bring up that might not be true? How dare you suggest, a different thought than I have? How dare you? And that can happen, and it will happen. And it does happen. I've seen it happen to atheists. And we're just as susceptible, perhaps more. I don't know. I don't know how if it's more or less than theists, but we all are human. We all have this thing where there's that one thing that somebody somewhere is going to say, well, here's the study that blows you out of the water, and you're not going to like it. That's how it is. And you're going to be emotional. I know I've been. Oh, man. But then you're going to go, wait a minute. What am I doing? What? Hopefully you'll wake up. Hopefully you'll smack yourself, or, not metaphorically speaking, you'll snap out of it, And it's good to have logical friends around to help you to do that. People that can be more objective than you. And yes, the way that you say it and the way that you deliver it, it's all very important. But as far as it being a time and place, there's always, I won't negate the truth no matter what. I just won't do it. And maybe you feel differently about that. I'd like to know. I'd like to know your ideas and thoughts on it, because I think it's a worthwhile thing to explore. Do we, always say what we think is true, no matter what? Yes, I think so. I think that the answer is yes. But maybe you don't. Well, it depends on the thing. Anyways, let me know what you think. That's all I got for now. Until next time, keep not praying for me. Lobsters.